Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Guitar Whisperer headquarters, where today we have a Jagstang. And I must apologise for some misleading information that I gave you a while ago. There was a guitar in recently which I referred to as a Jagstang, and it wasn't. It was a modified Mustang. So these things are important, and I feel bad about misleading you, but there we go. I've corrected that for you now then. So this one is a proper Jagstang in that it's a slightly different shape. The Kurt Cobain signature guitar, basically. So it's kind of a bit Mustang, it's a bit Jaguar, and it's got a humbucker in the bridge position, and they're cool and I like them a lot. They're quirky and a bit mad, which is good. So this one is here, and it's gonna have a few different modifications made to it. We're going to swap these pickups out. These are the stock ones, and we're going to fit some rather nice Monty's pickups, which are one of my favourites. So they're going in. The frets on this are pretty worn, and the fingerboard looks slightly blotchy, I'd say. So we're going to tidy that up. We'll do a fret levelling and recrowning. I'll clean up the fingerboard a bit with some fine sandpaper. Treat it with some Danish oil after that. That'll make it look an awful lot nicer. And then the last thing to do will be to fit this new scratch plate, because the existing one is delaminating and I've been told to save the sticker. So I'm going to have to try and carefully remember not to just chuck it in the bin or something. So yeah, quite a bit to do. I've been looking forward to doing this one. Pickups only arrived about 2 days ago in the amazing Monty's pickup packaging, which I'll show you later. And yeah, I've been itching to get on with it. So I think the first thing to do is take the strings off. I'll do the neck first and the fingerboard, and then I'll do the pickups after that, and then we'll get it set up, and it will be like a brand new guitar then in terms of playability and improved sonic qualities. So right, let's get on to it. Come here. Workshop cat has been as useful as always. Is that where you're going to sit, is it? Okay, you sit there. What have you done with my neck rest? Helping? Little Noodle is kind of obsessed with guitar strings, especially when there's loose flappy bits springing around all over the place, and you think it's fantastic fun, don't you, to chase those when I'm trying to restring guitars. And she also likes to find any of the cut string ends that I may have left on the workshop floor and then leave them places for me for later, like in my bed and things like that. Yes, that's a string pointer. But you can't tell her off, can you? She's too cute.
With my little solar glass fish, talking about having the Monty for the room. Sometimes she can't come because her friend from school has asked her for tea. Lauren called me to explain the said that it was important for me to develop country food, and it was confidence building. And self-esteem was important for girls in their lives. And that meant you couldn't
Hello.
smile anymore on a Friday night. And every Friday, can you do the other provider with a hen on it, you know. It's the last day of school today. They're having a school reading assembly. Music, poems, and people are definitely practicing hashtag musical therapy. Just run along anyway. They were too polite not to let me in, that's about the truth. But one look at my face and knew better than to turn me away. I said, I'm Millie Carter's nan. Apparently, when she goes up to big school, she's going to take her to Junior. Often it's things like, you know, how does it fit? Do you feel like it's, you know, that big...
Frets have been levelled, recrowned, polished and polished and polished, and they're looking great. What I'm going to turn my attention to now is the fingerboard, because it looks like water damage, doesn't it? Not entirely sure how that's happened, but it has. So we'll give it a bit of Danish oil, penetrating oil, not lemon oil, and see if we can restore that a bit. It's going to come out darker and hopefully a bit more evenly coloured and less dry. So yeah, let's give it a few coats of that.
Julie Shillitoshi says, I've been buying second-hand clothes and furniture for years. I love it. Lets me buy expensive things and I will use this in all of this. If you've made the shift, you own second-hand online. Where do you do this? Is it price? Is it how easy you find to use? Is it...
That looks better. Darker and much more even. There is down here, where is it? Some wear to the fingerboard, which goes up the first 3 frets, but we won't worry about that now. But I suspect you can get one more fret levelling out of these frets, and then it'll be time for a refret after that, at which point you could sand these out or fill them or whatever. But so that's done. Next up is to wire up the new scratch plate, which is going to replace this one with the nice Monty's pickups, and then put this one safe somewhere because he wants it back. So let's crack on with that. And here are the pickups in their gorgeous packaging. Slightly overwound humbucker in the bridge, 62 style vintage strap pickup to go on the neck, and yeah, this here, that's nice, and little packets of screws too. So they're going to go in there. I mean, look at that, isn't it nice? I love all this stuff. I've used Monty's stuff on a few guitars before, and they sound fantastic. So this one is going to sound equally fantastic, I'm sure. scratch plate swaps are one of those funny things. Well, not funny at all, really. Where you think, how difficult can that be? It's just undoing one load of screws, putting the scratch plate on and putting the screws back in, but the holes never line up. A lot of the time the switches and the pickups don't quite fit through the holes, and you've got to shave bits off, and oh, I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this one won't be too bad, because these are all very nice things. This scratch plate is from Armstrong, so it should be good quality. But wish me luck. Hello. Don't you dare steal any screws or springs, okay? This is fiddly. This is the sort of job where you basically need 4 arms. Or a special tool, which I don't possess. I should probably make one. I can't see it being difficult making the special tool. It would make life so much easier. Every time I do this, I'm thinking, oh God, I'm going to fire the springs across the room or something. Never see them again, but... Right, I'll put it on the to-do list. Make a tool that helps with this. I'm just passing through. Getting there. Always be careful when you're doing this sort of thing. I had to do a similar job recently for somebody who had a go at this, and like I say, the holes are often the wrong size, these apertures and stuff, and he'd obviously got frustrated trying to get a nice Seymour Duncan pickup through this hole, and ended up just smashing it in with something, and it broke the windings on the pickup, and it's over there somewhere now waiting to be rewound. So be careful. Pickup wire is incredibly thin and can break very easily. They're in. Now for the switches. As it's 30 years old, this guitar, or get in there anyway, the chassis of the switches inside actually look slightly salty. Not salty as in badly behaved or whatever, that they look like they're starting to corrode a little bit. Not a lot I can do about that really, but probably worth keeping an eye on in the future. Mind you, rewiring these ones is a million times easier than other offset guitars. Jazz Masters, I'm looking at you, which was an absolute nightmare. I'm feeling slightly tense just thinking about it. These ones are much easier. What are you doing down there? You keep trying to trip me up. Oh, wait. It's all going together fairly smoothly, which is nice. All soldered in, and also reattached to the controls and then the output jack. And I've just tested it and it works, so that's good news. Not too fiddly, this one, although I'm not a massive fan of the slidey switches. because I'm not so familiar with them. But yes, all in. Let's get it screwed back into the guitar now, then we can start reassembling it. Oh, I bet you the pickguard screws don't match up. It's nearly always the case. Well, I stand corrected. All the holes were in the right place, which pretty much never happens. I did have to do a bit of filing away of the pickguard here, because it was projecting out into the neck pocket, so that had to be tidied up. But you know, that was a good one. So that's back on. I've put the neck back on, which is looking lovely at the moment with its newly oiled fingerboard and very shiny frets. And I'm going to restring it now, then I'll probably leave it overnight and do the setup tomorrow, and then after that it'll be done. Setup time! We're nearly there. It's going to be a pretty straightforward setup. The only thing to think about on these Jazzmaster and Mustang trims is, I mean, I could drone on about these trims annoy me for various reasons, but one of the problematic things is that the bridge, and this is designed in, wobbles back and forth. It's not a tight fit. It looks a bit like a Tune-o-matic in some ways, but it's not. It's designed to move back and forth like this. And the idea is that when you use the trem and the strings are going back and forth, it moves with the strings as opposed to the strings being dragged across the saddles, which is fine, and that makes the tremolo work better. What it doesn't make better is the intonation, because the intonation is set by the saddles being in exactly the right position, and then if this is designed to wobble about and possibly not return to where it was, then intonation is not perfect. So, I mean, if you've got something like this, you have to set the bridge in the middle of its wobble travel by moving it back and forth with your fingers. You can wrap tape and things and put shims in around the posts that hold the bridge up, but then that means that you go back to the trem not working as well, which, because you're dragging the string anyway. You get the idea. So intonation is always a bit approximate on these, but we'll get it as close as we can. Okay, here we go. I did have a little look at it last night when I put the strings on, so the truss rod was fine last night. It's also fine now, so that's good. Action at the 12th is possibly a tiny bit high, but there's not much in it. Action at the 1st is good. So we're going to take the action down a tiny bit. Adjust the intonation as best we can. And then one of the most important things to look at is the pickup height, because obviously we've just changed them and we want to get the best out of his lovely new pickups. So I'm going to be paying close attention to these in a minute. The frets are obviously in super duper level condition, so we can get away with a bit less relief and a lower 12th fret action than we could do if it was a stock guitar with unleveled frets. So that's down nice and low. Let's have a look at this intonation then. well, that should do it for now. I'll check it downstairs on the nice big posh amp, and I'll obviously check with the customer as well to make sure he's happy with the balance there. Always a bit tricky to balance out a humbucker and a single coil like that, but you know, it is doable, obviously. But yeah, I'll check with the owner. I'll try giving it back to him, see if he's happy with that. Won't take long to make a little tweak if he does want to change. But yeah, we're done. And here it is. Looks lovely, doesn't it? I prefer that new plainer scratch plate, if I'm honest, and it's not often I say that because I'm attracted to shiny things like Perlo scratch plates. Lovely, level, recrowned and polished frets. Equally lovely new pickups, new scratch plate, setup, given a good polish and good to go. It's been rather good fun, this one. I'm interested to see what it sounds like when its owner is playing it live, so I'll have to try and catch him soon to check that out. Thank you very much for watching this one. As always, please subscribe to my channel if you like these videos. It will make me ever so happy. See you for the next one. Bye bye.